Graphic Organizers by Cindy Mondragon. What are graphic organizers? Graphic organizers are mental maps that involve students in active thinking through representation of key skills such as sequencing, comparing, contrasting, and classifying. Graphic organizers display information more visually than conventional text and outlines. Why use graphic organizers? Graphic organizers break down the abstract information in more concrete forms for your visual learners. It also allows students to see the connections between prior knowledge of what they're doing today and what they can apply or transfer to other things tomorrow. The use of graphic organizers makes recall and retention of materials easier for many students. Graphic organizers also help students make sense of expository text. Graphic organizers should be used more often as assessment tools. How can we use them as assessment tools? We can place graphic organizers on quizzes and tests. We can assign them with a topic. We can have students analyze various text formats using a graphic organizer. Graphic organizers can be placed as artifacts in a portfolio. Students can invent their own original graphic organizer. They can be included with projects or role performance tasks. And last, they can also be created with pictorial images. Here you see a graphic organizer that is a hierarchy graphic organizer. This organizer organizes the relationship of organisms with the environment in a top-to-bottom fashion. You can think of this organizer as a classification system. Take a look at this sequence graphic organizer on the life cycle of a frog. It organizes the information from left to right fashion and reveals order relationships in the development of an egg into an adult frog. One thing that you should know about sequence graphic organizers is that they are very interesting because the cycle continues to repeat itself on and on and on. On this slide, you see a matrix graphic organizer. This graphic organizer reminds you of the Venn diagram, or else where you have to compare and contrast two things. Well, with a matrix graphic organizer, it organizes information in columns, which are by topics, and rows, otherwise by categories, and reveals a comparative relationship. Here, you see a matrix with an illustration. You see two types of teeth. You see the incisor or the molar, and they're being compared to one another based on structure, function, and the way they look, which I think is very interesting. This last slide shows an example of an illustration graphic organizer. We all see these in textbooks or even in magazines. An illustration graphic organizer, such as the one you see for the starfish, shows location parts and reveals positional relationships. Well, thank you for listening to my graphic organizer. And here's a reference to the sources that I used to complete this graphic organizer. Thank you. Bye-bye.